Here we go. All right, so what you have to do is you have to open up a brand new drawing file. If you haven't opened one, you have to go up to the File tab, New, slide over down to a drawing file. Click on Drawing File, and you will open a brand new drawing file. All right, so to alter your title block, you need to find the title block that you're going to deal with. Your title blocks are housed over in your tree underneath of your drawing resources. So click on the little tab, the little arrow, to expand your drawing resources in your tree. Find the title block folder, and then expand that folder. Underneath, you're going to see the two default title blocks. One is an ANSI large, the other one is an ANSI A. What we need to do is we need to edit one of these two title blocks. So I'm going to right click on a title block. We get a menu that pops up, and I'm going to click the Edit tab. We now have the edit area of the title block, and you can see all of the information and look back information for this particular title block. I'm going to recommend at this point to do a panning window across the entire title block and delete it all. Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to go back and we're going to take a look at the actual assignment that you need to create this title block for. And this is going to be the template title block that we're going to build. The overall length of the title block is 4.5. There are 2 row cells at 0.25 height each. And then you can see that your sheet number area is 0.75 by 0.5 in height. So we're going to go back and we're going to draw in this title block first. So I'm going to go back here to Inventor. I'm going to go ahead and just grab my line tool. And I'm just going to click and draw. It doesn't matter where you draw it right now. Just going to draw it out, and we come down that 0.5, and then we're going to come back across here. That needs to be just coming back over square, so I can just come over and allow that to find itself. And then I'm going to come up. Now I'm going to come back across, and I can come all the way back across here to this point, or what I can do is I can set up and come out first, 0.75, then I can come the whole distance, because then deleting this particular line, I now have the space set up that I need to for my sheet area. Okay. Now I believe, I'm going to go back and take a quick peek here, then the next distance is going to be 1.9 from my sheet area number. So I'll go back into here, and I'll just go ahead and space over a line here, 1.9, and I'll come straight down, and then delete this particular dimension. Okay? Oh, looks like I have a little overdraw. I'll go ahead and trim that. Okay? After you get your title block drawn in, the next step is that we're going to go ahead and add the text. We're going to add the text necessary so that we can have the title block with our name, review problems, problem sheet, which is going to be, that is the title of the object on the page, and then the date. Then I want to set it up so we have sheet 2 of the number of sheets. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Inventor and what these objects are. If you remember, the little symbols, these little greater than, less than symbols with the author, title, check date, and title, these are referring back to information of the model or of the drawing. So these little greater than, less than symbols have to go back to information in iProperties. So we're going to talk about how to insert that now. Going back to Inventor, I'm going to go ahead up here and I'm going to grab my text tool from the top of the screen, and I'm going to come down roughly to the place where I want it to be inserted. Do not place it on a corner because that will lock it to the title block and it becomes more difficult to move around. I'm just going to click somewhere in that area to open up my text box window. Now my text box opens up, and instead of typing in the greater than, less than symbol, what we need to do is actually insert the actual type of symbol. So what I want to do is I want to pull this area down here, and I want to find, the first thing that I want to do is I want to find the author, and I want to know the author of either the model or the drawing. Now The author for all of these sheets is going to be the same because you are the one modeling the part and you are the one modeling and laying out the drawing. Okay, so I'm going to select drawing. I'm then going to come over here, and author is the first option in my iProperty list. So I select author. Then I come over here to the insert formula or the add text parameter button, and I select it. By doing it, I get this highlighted insert with the greater than author symbol. I'm going to come down here and hit OK. By doing that, it inserts the proper information here so that whoever the author is of the drawing, their name will be inserted at that point. I like that countdown. Okay, so what we're going to do next, we have the author, and the author is looking back to the iProperties of the drawing. This is the drawing file that we're in. What we need to do now is we need to actually set up, and we need to look back and add the property parameters for the title. Actually, this is the title of the assignment, and then this is the title of the object on the sheet. Here you can see review problems and problem sheet number 23. What I want you to do is I want you to be able to think about what types of things in this title block need to reference the object and what things don't necessarily need to reference anything. Every page is going to have the words review problems because that's the problem assignment sheet. Each page will be different for problem sheet number because these are the drawings and they're all different. Instead of actually looking at an iProperty for the review problems, a way to get around actually adding this particular function is if you just type in review problems. That way the text on every title block will always be the same. We could have done that for the name because that's always going to be the same as well. So what I'm going to do is go back into Inventor, and if the text does not need to change, I can simply select text, select where I want the text to go, and type in the text I want. Hit OK, and the text will appear. It's not necessary to use the iProperties if you don't need something to change. I can then grab that particular text and I can move it around so it's centered in the cell. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to set up the iProperties for the name of the model or the title of the model that will change for every particular part, this problem sheet 23. So by doing this, what I'm going to do is go back to my Inventor, and in this cell, I'm going to go ahead and grab my text. I'm going to go ahead and place my text cell. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull down, and I'm going to grab properties of the model because I want to look back to the model. And what I want to look at is going to be the title. So I come down and I select title. I then come over and hit my add parameter and my title inserts. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. The next piece that I want to show you how to do is how to add the area over here for the sheet. What we need is we're going to use text to create the word sheet. Then sheet number is going to be an iProperty. The word of is text. And then number of sheets is again an iProperty. We're going to go back and we'll have to hunt a little bit to find all of this. We'll go back in here to Inventor and grab a text box. Go ahead and select my cell to drop it. Type in the word sheet. I'm going to hit space. Now I'm going to go ahead and come into here, and this is where I have to find, I need to get sheet number. So under drawing properties, there's number of sheets. That's not what I want. So I'm going to come back here and look at sheet properties, look in here and say, there's my sheet number. So we'll go sheet properties, sheet number, we'll add, hit space, type in the then word of, space, and then we're going to go back up here to where I saw the drawing properties and have number of sheets. Go ahead and add that parameter. Once I have that set up properly, I'll hit OK. And now you can see that it's running way far out the title block. So what I can do, right click, hit OK, select it, and then I can mouse over the outside of one of my grips, my cursor will change and I can shrink that down. What that's going to do is it's going to stack that information within the cell. Now remember, the number of sheet itself is a number. It's not going to be all these letters, so they should fit. So before we go any further and continue, let's just finish the sketch. I'm going to hit Finish Sketch. Save these? No. What I want to do is do a Save As. So I'm going to hit Save As, and then I'm going to rename this Review Title Block. Okay? And then hit Save. What I want you to notice is that over in your tree, you can see under Drawing Resources, Title Blocks, you can see that your Review Title Block is now an option for inserting into the drawing. If you attempt to insert now, however, it's going to tell you that you already have a title block on the sheet. So what you need to do is you need to get into the Sheet 1. So you need to open up the information underneath of Sheet 1, come down to where the title block is located, and then right-click and delete the title block, because we don't need that title block. Then we go back up to Drawing Resources, come down to the title block file where we have Review Title Block, and you can either double-click or right-click and hit Insert. Either one will apply the title block. Now you can see that the information has been applied to the particular sheet, and we can see Review Problems is already there. We can see Sheet 1 of 1 is now in, and you can see that the person who is drawing an object or drawing the sheet is here. This is my username. I'm going to show you how to go in and change that when we get to iProperties. Big issue here is that this sheet is a D size sheet and we need to get to an A size sheet. To do that, I'm going to come up to my sheet properties, to Sheet 1. I'm going to right click on Sheet 1 and come down to the word Edit Sheet. Select it and then come in and select the proper sheet size, which is going to be an A size sheet. With A selected, I'm going to come and hit OK, and now we have the proper size sheet and the title block. Now, to set up where you can see where S. Lacharowitz is coming from, so you can change that to be a full name, to get to your iProperties where you can input information for iProperties, you're going to go to the top of the tree to Drawing 1, right-click, and then you have the option to go to iProperties. So come down in that list and select iProperties. Once you do that, you have your iProperty Drawing tab pop up, and you can move through these lists. All of these cells are possible iProperty cells that your drawing can look back at. Where I have author, that's my username, I'm going to go ahead and highlight that and actually type in my full name. By doing that, that cell is what will populate in the title block. When I hit Apply, I hit Close, you now can see it jumps and changes immediately because all the title block is doing is looking back to my iProperties. Looking at our title block, you can see that Review Problems is there. The name is now there properly. There is no drawing name in the cell because there's no model that is being laid out onto our sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Base. I'm going to go and I'm going to find a model that I can actually lay out. I'll go ahead and grab one of my problem sheets. I'll just grab Problem Sheet 21. And I'm going to come over here and hit Open. And I'll go ahead and lay this out. Actually, I should be laying this out one-to-one. So I'll go ahead and drop in these views like so and hit OK. Once these views get placed on the sheet, don't even have to move them around. Problem Sheet 21 is now visible because it is looking back to the problem, looking back to the model where I have the name Problem Sheet 21 in iProperties. Okay? So next thing I need to do is go ahead and set up the check date. By doing that, I need to get back into my Review Title block, edit, need to do a text, drop in my text, and I'm going to grab properties of the drawing because I want the date to be the date that I put all of my drawings together and submit them because it could take me more than one day to do this. Check date appears, finish the sketch, say yes. Then all I have to do is go to my iProperties and